Welcome, everybody. Awesome. This is a video which is about how to make a PowerPoint presentation file, how to make the slides and the format that you should use in this class. And I think the usefulness of this video and what you will learn, if you already don't know, which I will tell you about, is that this information, I think, is useful outside of this classroom. So in the future, maybe even this semester or next semester, or anytime you have to give a presentation using PowerPoint, I think that these techniques and rules are good to follow. So I think this can be a very practical video, not only one that you should use for making your PPT files in this class. So let's go over the basics of making a PowerPoint. And these techniques and rules or guidelines that I'm going to discuss in this video are ones that you should really keep in mind when making your slides for this class. All right, so let us begin. And it is a beautiful day. Okay, creating an effective PowerPoint presentation. Okay, let's begin. So let's start with the background. And so the background is this part that's behind the image. It's light blue. Okay, so for the background, use simple backgrounds. This is simple, nice and light blue. Don't use something that's distracting. Like this. Whoa. I mean, looks like it's for maybe a clown show. Okay, this is distracting or too difficult to read from. So don't do this. Like for people watching your presentation, they'll have a very difficult time reading this, and it's distracting. So have very simple backgrounds. And it's a good idea to use the same background throughout all of your slides. So here we have light blue. Don't do this. Don't keep on changing the background. Just one background. That's it. So don't do this. This meaning switching backgrounds. Okay, now let's focus on the colors. So what color contrast, what color combinations should you use? What are good color contrasts? Well, avoid white backgrounds because in a dark room, it can be too bright. Like that, it can be very bright in a dark room. So here are two combinations that work very well. Dark slides with light colored text. So dark backgrounds, light colored text, or the opposite. Light slides, light backgrounds with dark colored text, such as that. So either combination works well, and it's easy on the eyes to read and to look at. Okay, how about which contrast should you avoid? Well, there's something called the red and blue conflict. So, like there's blue background, red letters. That's very hard to read, and it's not easy on the eyes. It has a flicker effect. Similarly here, wow, that's really hard to read. So if you use these contrasts, you must provide your audience 3D glasses. So that's the only way it works. And that's a joke. So don't use red, blue contrast. Also avoid low contrast. So for example, white on yellow, yellow on white. Those are hard to read. Black on blue, blue on black. So it's better to have light, dark together, not two darks or two lights. Also, try avoiding these color combinations. Red on green, it's just not visually pleasing. It's not easy to read. Green on blue, same thing. Dark yellow on green, same thing. Purple on blue, kind of hard to read. And orange on green. So try to avoid these color combinations. How about bullet points? So bullet points is like what you use when you're creating an outline. Here are bullet points, point 1, point 2, point 3. And now we're going to talk about the size of each bullet point and the number of words. So there's a rule, 166 rule of bullet points. So each number refers to something, 166. 1 refers to have one slide, one idea. Have only one idea per slide. Don't have multiple ideas on your slide. If you have just one idea per slide, it lets the people in the audience look at your slides and really just focus on that one idea, not get confused. So one idea per slide. 6 bullet points at most per slide. 1 to 2 lines per bullet point, and maximum 6 words per bullet point. So 1 idea per slide, maximum 6 bullet points per slide, 1 to 2 lines per bullet point, and maximum 6 words per bullet point. Therefore, it's very important to use keywords or short phrases. Now, if you have a little more than 6, that's fine. But hence, it's important not to have complete sentences. Don't write complete sentences, just keywords or short phrases. How about fonts and font sizes? Well, for fonts, use sans serif fonts. So sans means without. In Spanish, sans means without. So fonts without feet. What are feet? Feet are these things. So in these letters, you can see the feet. The F has this thing on the bottom here. This F does not, because these are different fonts. Look at the N. There are no feet on, for this font, there's no feet. For this S, there's no feet. So this font that's in yellow has feet. Choose fonts without feet. So this is without feet. And these are without feet. Arial, Tahoma, Calibri, Verdana. As you can see, no feet on the bottom of these letters. Okay, how about font sizes? Well, slide titles up at the top here, 32 to 44. Good guideline to follow. First level bullet points. So these dots, these are the first level bullet points. 24 to 32. And second level, 20 to 28. So to give you an example, this is 44. The title, 44. This is the first level, it's 32. And this is the second level, it's 28. So just to give you an example. All right, how about animation? Animation is good, but oh man, this slide has a bunch of oh, my computer is too slow, so you couldn't see all the other animation. But don't do all of this crazy animation. I mean, PowerPoint is a very useful program, and it has a lot of great like types of animation and just capabilities that you can use. But that doesn't mean you should use all of them in one presentation. So use the same animation throughout the entire presentation. Don't use like fade, then swirl in, then this noise, stuff like that. Just try using the same animation throughout the entire presentation. Why? Because using more than one, using a variety of animation can be distracting. And then your viewers, the audience, they just end up looking at the animation and anticipating the animation, not paying attention to what you're saying in the words. So the audience will only see the animation and not the message you're trying to communicate to them. So limit animation. Use the same animation throughout the entire presentation. Using more than one can be very distracting. And like I mentioned, the audience will only see the animation and not the message that you're trying to tell them. So limit it. All right. And the animation that I'm using here is fade. I always use fade for some reason. How about images? Visual aids, very important in a PowerPoint presentation, but there are some guidelines to follow when including images, visual aids in your presentation. First, images, visual aids, pictures should outline. They should explain and support your main points. They're not, visual aids and images are not a replacement, a substitute for your main points. They're support for your main points. Oh, so cute. Now, this is unrelated to the PowerPoint that I'm giving you. Super cute, and I'm glad to share it, but don't do this. Don't just post random pictures. These dogs are so cute. And look, yes, this is a beautiful picture of fried chicken, but it doesn't support my main point. This is what I want to eat for dinner tonight. So make sure your images don't distract. They don't distract from your presentation, that they support and relate to the main points of your presentation. Images should be simple and clear. And they should not dominate the presentation. They should not be the focus of what the audience is looking at or thinking about. They just help the audience understand your main points. They're not there to replace you, the speaker. How about a watermark? I really despise. I really dislike watermarks. So one thing you will notice in all of my presentations, I will never have an image with a watermark, because to me, it looks low grade, low quality. So as you know, this is a watermark. Shutterstock, Shutterstock, Shutterstock. Looks like arrows. This does not have a watermark. Don't use images with watermarks. Like I said, I think it looks low quality. Nowadays with Google and other websites, there's so many images that don't have watermarks, that you have options. You don't have to choose one with a watermark. So don't use images with watermarks. Also, don't include an image with a lot of text. This has, look at all that text. It's like a little short story. So don't include images with a lot of text. Okay, proofread and edit. So you want to make sure that you proofread and edit your slides. Very important. So make sure you check for any spelling mistakes. Okay. What's the spelling mistake here? Information. Also, look for any capitalization or punctuation errors or mistakes. What's an example here? Actually, there are two. I'm is missing the apostrophe, and Soltech should be capitalized, just like that. You must proofread because naturally, as humans, we make mistakes the first time when we do things. So if you don't proofread, you might not catch, or you won't catch, the mistakes you make. Also, your presentation, at least in my class, will be in English. So if you're giving a presentation to English speakers, don't include Hangul. Just use English. But of course, if you're giving a presentation in Korean or another language, don't use English maybe. I don't know. Depends on the situation. But for my classes, don't use Hangul. Okay. So what are some final points to remember? Keep bullet points brief. 6-6 rule. 1-6-6, one idea per slide. Six bullet points per slide. 6 words per line. 1-6-6. Use the same background and animation for each slide. Use the same text, same font, and appropriate font sizes throughout your slides. Fonts without feet, sans serif. Don't use Hangul. And just remember, the audience came to see you, not the images you include. Your images should enhance the presentation, not be the presentation. And be sure to edit, proofread your slides. And that is the end of this video, 19 minutes. Okay, so now you have the link to this video. So these are the rules or guidelines that you should use when you make PowerPoints in this class. And so now that you know these, when I evaluate your PowerPoint presentation, this is what I will use. I will keep these guidelines in mind. And so if you follow these rules, that's good. And if you don't follow them, maybe partially you'll lose points for the part of your grade related to the PPT. All right. Of course, if you have any questions anytime, please ask me. I'm here to answer your questions. And so with that said, let's end this video because it's now 20 minutes long. So I will see you in class.